Hi, this is Alora from Firebird Summit, coming to you once again from beautiful Medellin, Colombia. So I wanted to talk this week about something that I am super excited about. Next week, I will be in Miami taking a class that I have been dying to take for years. It's offered by the Gallup organization, and it's specifically around their Strengths Finders test, which is now called the Clifton Strengths Assessment. And I'm really excited about this for a couple of reasons. There have been a few really big, high impact things that I have come across in my life and in my career that have been enormously, enormously impactful to how I look at the world generally, but certainly myself and the way I interact in it. And Strengths Finders to me was one of those things. It really gave me a context for understanding the things that I was naturally good at and how to maximize those, how to talk about those, and how to craft a story for myself as well as for others around where that meant I was best suited to provide value, both at work, at home, etc. And what I ultimately love about it is it comes back to something that I've recently really been very focused on, which is finding the right language and the power of words. There are so many things that we take for granted in how we articulate things because of just the nature of the limitations of the language we speak. As someone who grew up in a trilingual household, I sometimes underestimate the way that a single language viewpoint can really lock us into how we look at things. I recently had a talk with a former colleague who was discussing some cultural challenges between working with a team here in Colombia and a Russian-speaking team in Eastern Europe. And the truth is, Russian and Spanish are such drastically different languages, and the way those languages are structured has an enormous impact on the way our brain pathways are developed. Steven Pinker is an amazing author who's done a lot of work on the nature and the connection between language and the brain, and there's some amazing stuff that goes into it that's super, super helpful. But what I love about Gallup, what I also frankly love about the work Brene has done around defining what goes into, wholehearted living, and even, again, most recently, what Simon Sinek put together in The Infinite Game, is that it's about coming up with language and sometimes full-on mental models that help us reevaluate how we're looking at things and give us a completely new lexicon to work with when it comes to the stories we tell ourselves and when it comes to how we communicate with other people. And so for me, the Strengths Finders and the work that Gallup does around organizations and employee engagement is all really interesting from an intellectual perspective, but really distilling down, the native talents that can be evolved into true strengths by individuals, I think is something that's given me the ability to communicate with staff and with colleagues, with partners, with family in ways that I never had before I understood that. And so I am super, super excited to get into some really meaty content on this next week. It does mean I probably will not be doing a video, though I will get an email on Monday. So my question for this week: what concept or notion or language or new way of looking at things have you come across in your life that has completely and unexpectedly impacted you? And what kind of areas would you like to experience that again? Because I think there are probably a lot. Anyway, I hope you have a fantastic week. If possible, I will be on next week from Miami, but otherwise I'll talk to you in 2 weeks when I get back to Colombia. Bye.